Alright, picking a hero. This is your first decision in every game. It directly impacts whether you win or lose, and as such, you have to take it seriously. And we're gonna have videos about it, discussing it. So, the thing to realize when you're picking a hero is that every time you have a draft, you and your allies all look at the drafts of both your ally team and the enemy team, and you start to think about whether or not you believe you can win or lose. If you believe you can win versus not believing you can win, that directly impacts your win percentage, okay? If you think you can win, like if you think you've got the late game locked up and you're going to win should it go late, then you're going to try and get every advantage you possibly can. Every losing battle you have, you try to come back from it, you're going to hang on to the bitter end. But if you don't think you can win, then you're not going to try nearly as hard. If things start going wrong, you're going to blame each other, blame your allies, blame everything, sit in a fountain, just be like, alright, go next, It's a big deal making sure that you can believe you win. So, the thing is, a lot of people don't realize that, right? They go in and they're like, oh, I don't really do analysis on the different matchups, because the thing is, it's not the same as what the pros would call analysis. There still is analysis. So a pro might be like, okay, well, these heroes work with these factors, these two heroes combo well together, this guy counters the other guy, etc., whatever. Whereas in your pubs, it might be more like, alright, we have a top laner and a bottom laner and 3 junglers. Fuck me, fam. Go to the next game. Can't win. Give me the -25 and move on. That's an easy example. And that happens, right? So you need to do whatever you can to make sure your draft at least makes sense, okay? And because of that, that would mean you have to play at least 4 roles, right? Top lane, mid lane, bottom lane, and then the support. You have to know how to play the support. Jungle is optional. You can learn jungle if you want. Now notice that I said 4 different roles. That doesn't necessarily mean 4 different heroes. For example, I play a lot of Night Stalker, like you might know. That hero, I play it in the mid lane. I play it also in the off lane. I occasionally play it support. That's a few roles all taken up by one hero. But they play differently. I know how to change my playstyle. Okay. On a related note, I would recommend having a smaller number of heroes. Some people try to maybe learn every hero. That's unrealistic, right? You don't have an unlimited amount of time. Even pro players don't have an unlimited amount of time, and you'll notice that everyone's got their comfort heroes. The theory being that if you have X amount of time and you divide it among 110 heroes, you're going to get less time for a hero. At the end of the day, you are only playing 1 hero per game, and that one game is gonna decide each individual plus or minus 25. So if you spend all of your time on a smaller amount of heroes, then you might get better at those specific heroes. Okay. So, let's say, for example, you decide to call mid lane, and you have Tinker selected, you hover over mid lane, and you decide you're gonna pick later in the picking order, and in the meanwhile, an ally just goes, picks Queen of Pain, locks in, takes mid, done deal. What do? You might be tempted to be like, oh, well, I called it first, so I'm the one who's right. I'm in the right. He's the one who called it afterwards, so I should be the one who gets mid, right? And you might be tempted to do that, and you can make a reasonable argument that you're right, but here's the thing. We're here to win, not to argue about who's right or wrong with these arbitrary, potentially meaningless rules. You need to do whatever you can do in this particular game to increase your win percentage. So in this case, do you pick Tinker anyways and go 2 mid? No, you don't, okay? You pick some other role that's been unclaimed, even if it's a support, and you do that, and you do your best. Okay? A common example, you've got a dude on your team named Mid or Feed. And you've already picked mid, and he tells you that he wants mid, right? You pretty much should just give him mid, right? I mean, obviously, because you don't want him to feed. But expanding on that, let's really think about this. Assuming he's not bluffing, which, believe me, a lot of them are not bluffing, that means some percentage of the game, he feeds. He just gives up the game, you lose the game, right? So let's say 30% of his games he just throws directly into trash, he loses it. and then the other 70% of the games he gets mid, and it's all right. Now, you are at whatever MMR you are at, and you try in 100% of your games, presumably, and you're gonna win 50% of them. That's why you're at the MMR that you're at. Now, this guy, on the other hand, he's at the same MMR, or at least reasonably close, or else you wouldn't have been matched. He's at that same MMR, and he throws away 30% of his games. So, in that 70% he tries in, he wins the same amount of games that you win trying in all 100%. What I'm getting at is that if he gets mid, he might be better than average at mid for your MMR. That's not a granted. You're still going to have games where the dude gets mid and still feeds, and it's very frustrating. This happens, right? But you have to do your best to at least increase your odds, and that's how you increase your odds. Okay, next. What do you do if your allies let you pick? Like, they're being cooperative and you get to pick whatever you want. Obviously, you pick your best hero, right? There's a little more subtlety than that, but that's pretty much the right answer. Your best hero, like, how do you determine what your best hero is? Because it's not always the same thing as your favorite hero or the heroes you like to play or whatever like that. And the answer is fairly straightforward. Darkseer. Oh, he lives.
The Radiant lost.
Is he gonna live?
Tower.
Oh, wow. So the way you choose your best hero is go into here, stats. Now right here, you click this rating button, the sort by rating. This is just listing your best heroes. All right. This rating is an algorithm that combines win rate with total games played. Okay. So obviously, a hero with 62% win rate and nearly 100 games matters a lot more than a hero with, you know, we'll say 100% win rate and 4 games played. Right? This could totally easily be a fluke, and it probably is. You know? There still can be inconsistent. There are problems with this. For example, this is a little bit inflated because I played a ton of these 97 games back when Faceless Void was really overpowered, like TI4, like 2 years ago era. That being said, I still play a mean Faceless Void, right? This is how you would sort your best heroes. Note that my Night Stalker is like, what, 7th? I still play him a lot, and that's something that you're going to have to find out for yourself, figure out what the balance is, right? Because ideally, you pick the heroes that you're going to pick a lot, you choose them from the top of this list. These are the heroes that you already play very well, right? Without even changing anything, those are the heroes that you either naturally understand, or their playstyle fits your, you know, intuitive way that you like to play Dota, like farming a lot, you like to farm a lot, something like that. For whatever reason, when you choose those heroes, you win games, okay? So that's like the least effort invested for the most results, okay? Now, you might be thinking, oh shit, my favorite hero's not up there actually at all. I have like lower than 50% win rate on my favorite hero. But I still want to pick him, you know? I don't want to necessarily stop picking my favorite hero. And this is important. If you ever find yourself disagreeing with my advice based on the fact that I'm telling you how to win, and you want to do something that's like sounds fun, that's okay, right? This is a game we play to have fun. You're not a professional player. You might not ever be a professional player. It's okay to have fun with this Dota game. But on the other hand, we're here to win. And I mean that literally for me. Like, my job in this YouTube series is to get you to win more games, but also you too, you know? On some level, you want to win more games of Dota, or else you wouldn't be boring yourself listening to me talk, right? So give it a shot. Like, follow my advice and really try winning more and see how you feel about it, because you might find, like many people, that winning is fun, right? As an aside, I'm gonna give you a lot of tips. Do as many of them as you can, right? Because here's the thing. Say you implement like some of my tips, and you go from a 50% win rate to like a 58% win rate. You're gonna climb MMR over time, but that's not good enough. That's not good enough for you, and it's definitely not good enough for me. Because the thing is, my viewers, everyone, they're not gonna watch my vids, like, and then do a statistical meta-analysis, look up 100 games before my videos, look up another 100 games after my videos, plug them into a stats thing, check out their win percentage, and then compare them and be like, oh, it went up 7%. That's not realistic. That's not what's going to happen. What's realistic is that you will watch my videos, and then you'll go here, you'll go to your profile, recent games, and you're gonna see all green, right? That's what's realistic, and that's real people have told me that's happening. That's a good result that you should shoot for. Not only for yourself, but for helping me, right? The more people that do this properly, the better it's gonna reflect on me, and the more you can like recommend my channel. Awesome. Okay, so that's how to choose your hero. Thanks for tuning in. Go to the next video.